Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. One of the most common questions I get asked as a physiotherapist is what is the right posture to sit in and what is the right posture to sleep in? Because posture plays a very big role in preventing and treating of back and neck pain, and which is why I think it's an important topic. But of course, a lot of people will tell you to sit in the right posture and sit straight and try to lie down like this and sleep like this. But all of that may not be practical all the time. What I'm going to do today is try to bring out a little basics of what you can and should not do. And of course, in the description, I'll give you links to how and what the right postures are. You can always refer to the book, Watch Your Back, Simple Tips to Prevent Back Pain. That's a book I wrote and it's available. The description mentions the link from where you can take it. Let me try to cover some salient points about postures. All three, sitting, standing, lying down. So because that's typically what you do in your day. And those are the postures that you are in your day, mostly. Let me address the elephant in the room, which is sitting. A lot of time we are sitting in our day and sitting has been called the new smoking. I would not fully agree with it. But there are certain do's and don'ts which are to be followed. One of the biggest don'ts that I tell people, and which is something which is very difficult to give up for people, is trying to avoid sitting on a sofa. Because a sofa has become so convenient and comfortable for all of us. But as far as your back goes, not a lot of us have the back strength to be able to maintain ourselves in a slouch sitting that a sofa promotes. The more comfortable the sofa, the more slouched you will be. So if you have a sofa which is firm and which helps you sit straight, please go for it. But if not, then try to avoid sitting on a sofa. Try to sit on a chair. A lot of dining chairs are good. Good office chairs are a good option. So one big don't that I have is try to avoid sitting on the sofa. Of course, it can't be 100%, but as much as possible. Another big don't for me is slouching in a chair, but that's not completely in your control. How do you bring it under control is remembering three things. Whenever you sit in a chair, remember to keep your hips all the way back, touching the backrest, your back fully supported on the backrest, and the laptop or your screen should be at eye level. The top of your laptop should be at your eye level. I'm talking about laptops because a lot of us are using laptops. In phones, it all goes for a complete toss because in a phone, you should try to hold it in front of your face as much as possible. Now, that doesn't become very easy to bring. It's not a good habit. It's not an easy habit to build, but you can always try as much as possible. I've seen people who try to keep their phones in front of their eyes, and that's really good, really appreciated. I'm talking about when you're using a laptop. When you're sitting on a chair watching television, when you're eating, during all of that, hips all the way back, back supported, feet supported, and try to keep a straight head. That's all that is to sitting. And then there are reminders which you need to give yourself. Try to check yourself every 45 minutes to an hour, whether you're sitting correctly or not. Use alarms in your phone, use alarms in your laptop, whatever you need to do. But ensure that you sit in the right posture and you are reminding yourself that you're sitting in the right posture. Now, when we come to standing is not very complex. It's just that you have to ensure that you have to imagine a string from the top of your head, which is pulling you straight. As long as you're able to do that, you're fine. The most common bad postures that are visible are slouching and being in a sway back. Now, sway backs typically happen when you have bad strength in your back and you rely on your joints. And slouching normally happens when you're in the habit of slouching. Both can be avoided very simply by just imagining a string pulling you from the top when you're standing. And ask your friends and your family to give you feedback. So I've asked my wife to give me feedbacks. And I get a lot of feedback during my entire day that, stand straight, you're in a sway, you're in a sway, you're in a sway. And that tends to build a lot of consciousness about how you're standing. And being conscious and being mindful of how you're standing and sitting is one of the most important things to achieve. That's about standing. Now, when we come to lying down, people often ask me that, I feel a lot of pain in the beginning of the day. So what is the right posture in which I should sleep? And let me burst a bubble for you here. You cannot control it. You cannot control what the posture you sleep in. Because when you're sleeping, you're sleeping. You're unconscious. You cannot be aware of how you're sleeping or what posture you're in. So what becomes important is the posture you go to sleep in. And then there are three kinds of sleepers: people who sleep on their tummy, people who sleep on their back, and people who sleep on their sides. Now, for people who sleep on their backs, try to keep a pillow under your knee when you sleep. In the morning, that pillow may be nowhere around, but still start your sleep journey using that pillow under your knee. If you sleep on your tummy, try to keep a pillow under your tummy, right under the hip, so that your back is flattened and it's not slouching at all. A bulk of us, a majority of us, sleep on the sides. Now, when you sleep on the sides, a great idea is to keep a pillow between your knees. What that does is it keeps your back from twisting on itself when you sleep. Because normally when you sleep, your one leg will be in front of the other, or even if it is on top of the other, your back will be in a slight bit of a twist. To avoid that from happening, try to keep a gap between your legs by placing a pillow between your knees. Like I said, in the morning, the pillow will be somewhere else and you will be somewhere else. But that's okay. That's all right. You cannot control the posture you sleep in, but what you need to do is ensure you are mindful about how you are getting into a sleeping position. Those are three postures we are normally in during our day: sitting, standing, and lying down. I try to cover little basics of what you can and should not do. Big do's as far as sitting goes: try to keep your hip touching the backrest. Try to use the backrest as a backrest. When standing, imagine a string pulling you from the top. While sleeping, use a pillow to keep between your knees if you sleep on the side, and under your knees when you lie down straight, and under your tummy when you sleep on your tummy. That's as simple as it is. And however I may want to complicate it by using scientific language, this is it. Try to do this and let me know how it works out for you. If you need more tips, if you need specific answers to your questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you out. And you can refer to my book, you can refer to the previous videos that I've shared. Those will be helpful for you. Hope this helps, and take care of yourself, stay safe, wear a mask, and all the best.